will not be televised.
Show me my respect and bow down. We own ya. We own ya. We only getting started now. Cause we own ya. Everybody think they know me now. Cause we own ya. You and I'm my homie now. Cause we own ya.
Hello everyone, Rascal Entertainment's here.
And Mama Entertainments. Welcome to our podcast.
In this special episode, we're finally discussing a movie that's been praised as one of the best superhero films of all time,
Black Panther. We've been wanting to talk about this movie for a long time, and now that we've just seen it, we're ready to talk about this box office hit.
Now, when it was first announced that they had the movie coming out, I know people were ecstatic from the time of the announcement to the time it was time for it to be released in the theaters.
Mm-hmm. And we were, just like everyone else, overjoyed, surprised, amazed, grateful, and looking forward to see what would Marvel, Stan Lee, and of course Disney, how they will portray the character, what characters from the comic books will be included, and what would the visuals look like.
Right. Because, as you know, for Wakanda, it's always this really elaborate place of all the technology in such a secretive place. So you wonder how would they bring that to the screen. Mm-hmm. And they didn't disappoint because they really did go to some other location. It wasn't some set or anything that they made at the Disney studios. They really went to this far out location to film and to set up all these graphics and the story.
And they did an excellent job in translating the imaginary tech that appears in the movie, with the vibranium and all the things that were made, and having someone who was able to develop this technology, like in the James Bond movies or any other movie where you've got a super genius that comes up with all these creative ideas.
Right. And
it wasn't ostentatious. The character wasn't arrogant. It just seemed like a regular person able to do all these, wonderful things.
Right. And as you will see in the movie, a lot of technology is pretty different. I mean, they really had to sit down and think what's different. You didn't want it to be like the same gadgets you see in these spy movies, these other types of movies, or even Iron Man.
Right.
Because Iron Man already had a suit that it went from being where you had to put it on, then he would have to just put it on him and it would appear. Now it's a pod that transfers to him, and now you can just think about it, puts it on. There's always a way to put it on faster. For Black Panther, they said the whole suit was in one necklace, so it's almost holographic.
Right.
And all you have to do is think about it, and it just form fits, and it's on.
And then it had this ability where when it took one punch, it absorbed the energy, and then if you hit it in the same spot again, the energy came back out and just kicked the butt of whomever was doing the hit.
Right.
That was great.
Yeah, so that was a really neat idea. So you almost couldn't be hit more than once at a time by the same enemy.
Right. So, first off, we'll say, fantastic job. The movie was great. Chadwick Boseman did an awesome and amazing job portraying this imaginary character, giving him life and giving him a face. And the way in which he portrayed him, you liked the character, you felt he was real, and we know he's an amazing actor because he's done biography movies and so forth. But for him coming into the animation game and doing the fictional character and giving him life, he did an excellent job. He never disappoints in his performance. So Chadwick Boseman, awesome job. Thank you for giving Black Panther flesh and blood and making him a character that everyone around this globe now loves and sees why he has remained a part of the Marvel universe for so long and not being discontinued or taken out of rotation.
Right, or an obscure movie. And fun fact, originally Morris Chestnut was going to play Black Panther, and then was for some reason changed. I guess maybe they felt Chadwick Boseman would portray the character better. So, and usually that happens, or sometimes it could also be scheduling conflicts. So we don't know, but the point is, the final product was really good.
Right. So you can just give a brief synopsis without giving away too much of the story and the ending.
Right. So after you've seen like Captain America: Civil War, it kind of shows what happened.
His first appearance.
Right. And what happened with his father when he died during one of the attacks that happened in the movie. He has to take the mantle as king of Wakanda and of Black Panther. Mm-hmm. And most of the story kind of focuses on how would he rule as king. What type of king was he going to be? Was he going to be like his father? Mm-hmm. Was it going to be something completely different? Was it going to be something the people would approve of? Mm-hmm. And what will be the best decision for his kingdom?
And then in this movie, you see different other tribes that also exist in Wakanda.
Right.
And they want to do battle. Right. And they want to do battle for the throne. And he has competition from within Wakanda and without Wakanda.
Right.
And he has to, as you said, prove himself to be worthy to be king, to be a good leader. Mm-hmm. And he does find out what his ruling style will be. We won't, ruin that for you. But the way in which the movie unfolds, again, beautiful to look at, high energy, mm-hmm. Great plot lines. You get a lot of back history on Black Panther that maybe you don't know about. And what was great is the way the movie was laid out. Even if you've never read a comic book, even if you don't know who he is, a lot of information and detail was given about his history and his Wakanda and his family and about the throne, going back for thousands and thousands of years. Mm-hmm. So it was great the way that it was presented. You don't have to have been a Black Panther fan prior or know of the comic books in order to appreciate the character and the movie the way that it's done. Right.
And also the other characters they had in here, like you had, I'm sorry, I don't know the person's name within the character's name, but you know him as Watson from the Sherlock series from BBC. He's in the movie.
Martin Freeman is his name.
He's in the franchise too with Benedict Cumberbatch. Now I remember him because he's playing Doctor Strange, and mm-hmm. he's in here too playing FBI agent.
Right.
They also have
his
T'Challa's sister,
Shuri.
I think, yeah.
Shuri, S-H-U-R-I, yeah.
And makes all the gadgets in the lab, both for Black Panther and all these new inventions for the city that can keep making them, technologically advanced compared to the outside world.
And they also use a lot of her gadgets to save lives of people that they find. That maybe have gotten into Wakanda or outside Wakanda, and they know it's the right thing to to save them, and they've used the technology for that as well. So
and they have one of the guards, I guess you could say, sort of like a royal guard, and it's these group of women, and they have these
generals,
these generals, and they have the spirits kind of like Voltron. If you gotta think about it.
And what was so awesome is that they had Denai Gurira, apologies for the pronunciation if I'm wrong, who plays Michonne in The Walking Dead. She's a badass on Walking Dead, and she was a badass in Black Panther. She was perfect for the role. I was so thrilled and happy and excited to see her.
Right? And she
is one of the generals.
Yeah, and she becomes a bigger focus later on in the movie as well. And, she goes with Black Panther and, what was the sister's name again?
Shuri,
when they go to South Korea and when they go to America to find who is stealing these Wakandan artifacts.
Right.
That's supposed to be, safely at a museum, and someone's been stealing all these artifacts.
And also you have Forrest Whitaker, who plays his uncle and who's his right-hand man, who was his father's brother, of course. And the same man who played his father in Civil War also returns as his father in this movie. And so he's not a stranger if you've seen Civil War. As soon as you see him, then you'll know who he is, and then it'll bring back to mind what occurred in Civil War.
Right.
And you kind of be up to speed up to that point, because this picks up to what happened after his death.
Right.
And so many things take place. So many changes take place, as we mentioned also, a battle for the throne, things that are going on within the U.S., South Korea. It's just an amazing movie that brings all these elements together and produces this one tangent story that you would think it would be up and down or just a lot of little mini stories, but it isn't.
Right. It's
They
just
all
one.
flawlessly seam into one. They all flawlessly seam into one story, which is excellent.
Right. And also, if you think about the story, the plot line, and the character, that kind of makes you think of The Lion King, like a live action, humanized version of The Lion King.
True. In some aspects, yes. And, since it's Disney, that's to be understood. This movie, also historical, for doing a lot of first. It is one of the first movies to hit $1 billion in record time. It is one of the first movies to have a predominantly African American cast that is produced by a major motion picture movie company. And also you have Ryan Coogler, who was one of the first African American, actually the first African American director to direct a major motion picture, superhero picture. You've got, again, as we mentioned, Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, who you may know from Django Unchained. If you've seen it, she won an Oscar. Denai Guerrera, Martin Freeman, as you mentioned, Forrest Whitaker, and also Angela Bassett, who you will know from many, many movies she's been in. Andy Serkis, who also was one of the gorillas in Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, and he's well known for being in the motion capture character.
Right. Letitia Wright, who plays sister. You've just got some really great actors in this movie. The music soundtrack is also really diverse. You've got some classical movies, you've got some rap, you've got some R&B, you've got a lot of stuff going on, and it was pretty much directed, the music, by Ludwig Göransson. Cinematography, Rachel Morrison. This movie just really, really brought the Marvel Universe what it needed. Not only diversity, but just, again, Disney is becoming really excellent at doing these shots in the arm that really just awaken and give a dose of excitement that it needs at some time. Yes, we love the Avengers movies. Yes, we love Captain America, Hulk, Thor. Anyone I'm missing?
Iron Man.
Iron Man. We love those movies. But that element of surprise that we were getting in some of the movies initially had begun to wane off. You weren't surprised by Thor's movie, Ragnarok. You weren't surprised by Iron Man after Pepper saved the day. You weren't surprised by Hulk series of movies.
Because he only had one, and then
he had more than one, different incarnations during different decades.
Right.
But you weren't surprised by them, and you were surprised by Doctor Strange. That was a nice breath of fresh air too. And for me, Black Panther did the same thing that Doctor Strange did. You have a character that has been in the rear, now in the forefront, that was always a strong character in comic books, but now you know why. There is a following, why that character is still loved, why they're still in rotation. So Black Panther was another shot in the arm, like Doctor Strange, with a lot of excitement, a great storyline, and bringing a character that's being in the, as we mentioned, that hasn't been in the forefront to the forefront.
Right.
And Stan Lee, as of course you know, he's just awesome and amazing, and just really grateful for he and Jack Kirby creating this character, as well as Doctor Strange. And thank you, Disney, for actually taking this turn and giving these background characters, so to speak, more love and putting them in the forefront with their own movies. This has been long coming for Doctor Strange and Black Panther. Right. And what other one is coming out?
After the Avengers, they're going to have, I think, a Miss Marvel movie.
That's a long time coming as well.
Yeah, they're going to have another Ant-Man movie. Venom's getting his own movie. He's technically a villain, but
that's being long awaited, right? Because he's just really well known and has a big fan base. Amongst Marvel fans.
Yeah, and Deadpool, as you know, Ryan Reynolds is doing very well, and people extremely adore Deadpool.
Right. So it's a great thing that, I don't know if I should say Disney or Marvel, but I'll just say Disney.
You might as well say Disney.
has done the same thing with the Star Wars franchise, taking characters and giving you more backstory and devoting whole films to them. For this Marvel universe, for the Marvel portion of their company, this was a great move. This was absolutely a brilliant and great move, because you're going to have not only just people who love the franchise itself, Marvel, but again, who are fans of these individual characters and that are just excited that their favorite character now has their own movie that's long overdue. So kudos to Disney for doing this, not only with background characters, but diverse characters, male, female, minorities, underdog characters. It's just a great move on their part.
Yes,
Very brilliant
most
move.
definitely.
So we are anticipating the next Black Panther movie. We know there's going to be one,
Right,
because
has
we've
to
read
be.
about it, and we also looking forward to see Avengers Infinity War, which we know by this time many of you have seen and know we have yet to see it. And once we do, we will give a review on that as well. But we just wanted to jump in on Black Panther because we finally got to see what all the excitement was about.
Right, we just saw it very recently, so we finally get to join in the fun.
Yes, so for all you Black Panther lovers out there, congratulations on having your character in his own movie, and definitely he will be returning, not only in his own sequel movie, but in Avengers, and we don't know, they haven't named the next installment of
The Avengers, because it looks like the franchise is coming to an end after this final Avengers movie.
Right. So, thanks for watching. If you got any comments on why you love Black Panther and what made it the groundbreaking and just totally intense and great movie for you, let us know in the comments below.
Yep, and why you love the character itself, or the movie, like your favorite moments or something, or what you're looking forward to the next time the character is on screen in a movie, either by himself or with the Avengers.
Right. So that's it.
I'm Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.
Wakanda forever!
The revolution will be live.
And reporters sitting, flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Hit her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket, give it to you later on in the forest.